With no-code development, we're all about speed. So with that, I want to show you plugins, which is something we haven't talked about yet. So Bubble offers different kinds of plugins that are basically pre-built components or pre-built API connections. If you click Add Plugin, you'll see a list of all of the plugins that have been built on Bubble. Now, again, Bubble builds some of these themselves. However, you can build your own as well, and a lot of these plugins are not built by Bubble, but a lot of the most popular ones are. You can see they're built by, all these random agencies or individuals, whoever wants to build on Bubble. So let's go up, and there is a ton of plugins, right? We're not going to be able to cover all of them, but let's just pick a few random ones. And to be honest, I haven't even used a lot of these myself, but let's pick a few random ones and see what they're capable of doing. So for example, let's type in calendar and see if we can't get a calendar plugin. Okay, great. One is built by Bubble, so let's install it. So we have calendar. Let's also do some sort of chart. So we want to do a chart, but we don't want to build that ourselves because that would take forever. So we'll install that. What else do we want? Maybe we want some, let's go back to plugins. Let's add some icons. So we can see Google material icons, feather icons, what looks cool, hero icons. No idea. Let's install hero icons. And done. So now you can see we have these installed plugins available to us in our application. Chart element, full calendar, hero icons. Now, when we have these icons, you can see over here a little bit of a description about it. So Bubble built this one. Let's see who built this. Bubble built this as well. And you can see this one was not built by Bubble. Let's see, built by whoever this is. So you can see the documentation is a little bit different. Let's go back and look at Bubbles. So we have the chart element, and they have their own documentation, right? Because Bubble built it themselves, so they obviously have their own docs. You click that, and you'll be taken to whatever documentation is associated with this. I don't even know. Okay, cool. It looks like some chart data, expressions, et cetera, et cetera. But if you have a third party that built it, they can write their own documentation. So it looks a lot different. See, they have a demo, view an editor, etc. Now, we can also click on plugin page, and we can see information about who built it, the details. So it looks like they have some support link and instructions that go along with it. Keep scrolling down. You can see other people that have given it reviews. And then you can also go and see the plugin code. So not applicable for a lot of you, but if you're a developer by chance watching this, you can go and see the API calls. In this case, there are none. The shared code here and everything that's happening in the back end to make this plugin work. And that's all fine and dandy, but for our purposes, we don't need to really worry about anything that's going on here. You can see the elements they made and stuff that's available on the front end to us. You can also see how it's set up in the back. Again, meaningless for most of us. So let's continue back onto our application itself. So we're back in our plugin page, and we want to see what these designs look like in our front end. Just go to design, and now you can see that we have a few different options here. We have calendar, we have hero icon, line and bar chart, then a few other mini icons. I don't even know what that means, but we can drag these on to our application. So for example, we have this mini icon, which looks like a spider, so it's a bug or ant. And they have a bunch of different icons available in our editor. Again, you're going to want to make this bigger, so let's make it a little bigger so we can see the whole thing. Give it a 300 by 300. Come back to appearance, and you can see that we can change, to whatever we want or whatever they have available. Looks like they have a shit ton of stuff, so you can play around with this and see what they have available. And also note that they have their own custom fields. So for example, we can change the color of the icon to anything we like, and then change the icon, and it should reflect the same color. So that's pretty cool. You don't have to go out there and import your own SVG icons or any other icons from anywhere else. You can just install a plugin and simply drag and drop. So that's pretty cool. Let's look at our calendar. So let's drag that on the page. And look at that. We can drag a fully built calendar right on our Bubble page that's also probably already interactive, meaning we can click on these buttons and click around in the calendar and stuff should be happening. And then we can also edit and customize everything there is on this calendar. So we even have like type of events and data sources we would want to display. Say, for example, we have users input events. We can then go get those events and display them on our calendar. And that's super cool because normally you'd have to build out this entire calendar yourself. So let's see what it looks like in preview. Let's go to preview. You can see our calendar, and it is already interactive. So look at that. I mean, that would take you, if you were just raw coding, forever to build this, if you weren't using any library or anything like that, if you're a developer out there. But look at that. I mean, that is incredible. Still blows my mind that you're able to just drag and drop these components on an application like this and already have it developed. We didn't need to do anything, and we already have a fully working calendar. All we just need to do is display some type of data on it. So let's go back. Let's get rid of that. Let's look at our charts. So where's that chart? Let's see. Line and bar chart. Let's drag that on the page. We already have a pre-built line and bar chart just like that, and we can change coloring, etc. And let's change the coloring of that as well. So that's pretty cool. And again, we can select what type of data we'd want to display on there. We don't have our database set up or configured to interact with this chart in a meaningful way. However, you can see that if we select some type of data, then more fields appear. So we have our value expression and our labels. So we maybe put like our X and Y labels. If we didn't want the months and these numbers, we could change that. And again, this is just to show you what's possible. We can't possibly go over all of the plugins and how each of them works, but you get the basic understanding. When you install a plugin, simply drag and drop the component on, and you'll be able to change, all the fields they have available. And if you get lost, again, everything has documentation. You can go back, reference the documentation, and then you'll be good to go. They should have an explanation for every field and how to work that plugin. So again, you don't need to know every specific detail. Just know that these exist and they have pre-built components for you. So again, this is why no-code is so much faster than traditional development and why it's such a valuable skill to have. And hopefully you understand plugins a little bit more. Again, no way we can cover all of them. You're just gonna have to play around with them yourself. But again, as always, I'm available for questions in the community. Feel free to reach out and I can help you along with some of the various plugins, maybe how they work, or help you reference the documentation. With that, I'll see you in the next lesson. You're making amazing progress and you're learning so fast. You should be so proud of yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back and let's get into the next lesson.